Hello, Natroners, and welcome back to another episode of VFX with Natron. Alright, so today, well, I'll need to do a few things. First of all, last time I mentioned that I was inspired by a person to explore the ST map node a bit more. I couldn't remember the name of the person off. His name is Benjamin Roberts. So kudos to you, Mr. Benjamin Roberts. Thank you very much. You inspired me to look into the the ST map. Or did it again? STM? No, it's ST map node, more so than I would have, because I'd only used it for really doing lens distortion corrections in the past. Anyhow, but at the same time, the last episode, and probably the last few episodes, have raised some questions about, what the practicality of some of this stuff that we're doing is, It's like, how do we, oh, these are cool effects, they're neat and everything, but what can we use them for, right? I mean, it's true, a lot of times I do episodes where I'll show how to make something, but I also do these ones where I sort of talk about theory or the practicality, sort of exploring the nodes. And I know some people are into one, and some people are into others, and some people are into both. And, some of the stuff I don't go as deep as I could go. But anyway, I thought to myself, it's a good point. We haven't done anything practical. So, with no further ado, oh, and by the way, I got my controller. They fixed the program, so my controller is working again. So, we're going to go, I wanted to bring up today's, alright, I'm going to go first back to, we're looking over here at Natron, and we left off last week, well, with something similar to this. This is where I felt was sort of was one of the best points, was when we had this and we were looking at this, and it's like, oh, this is cool, but it isn't all that useful and so forth. So how can we take what we've got here and turn it into something useful, something practical? And so I was thinking to myself, well, when I was exploring this, I did come across something I had done, and I thought I was going to stumble onto it last week, but I forgot what settings I set wherever and so forth. So today we're going to sort of look into that. And what it is sort of a all right. First of all, let's look at people have heard of back in the Adobe days, when in the early days. I probably still I haven't used haven't used official Adobe products in a few years at least, because I haven't needed to for my personal self. But that being said, there was a thing called clouds. Everybody probably knows what clouds was. What it was basically a form of fractal noise, and if you used After Effects, you'll probably be familiar with it. And it didn't really look like clouds, but it was called clouds. So I thought today, oh well, let's make better clouds that look more like real clouds, or useful clouds. Not really. I mean, this is going to be sort of a simple thing. Anyway, I want to show first of all what I mean. This is what they have. All right, we're going to pull up theirs. This is sort of what Adobe clouds kind of look like, and this is super duper simple. If you need me to tell you how this is done, well, it's going to be part of what we're doing anyhow. But I think, oh yes, and also this is slowing down. I intentionally slowed this down for both versions of this, because I want to discuss it. So all right, that's enough of theirs. So ours is sort of this. This is my variant of it, and you can see it's a lot more puffy and looks a lot more like what. This is more, it's doing a little more like the cumulonimbus kind of wobbly, swirly thing. And you see, I'm also slowing it down. The reason I'm slowing it down is in real life, unless you're doing a time lapse, clouds don't really move all that fast. They're very slow moving. So I want it, and they sort of drift and so forth. So I want to take it through the range of speed so you could see that, you know, you can make it move at whatever speed. So, alright, let's get back to Natron and over here, and you decide to yourself, okay, this is a practical thing we can do with what we've got right here. And so I wanted to sort of continue this from where we stopped last time, because we have all the nodes we need right in here to do that effect that we just made. But we have to change some things, and part of this is understanding or sort of saying, aha, these are ways I can use these effects. That's why I talk about the theory. Anyhow, I've babbled. Let's look at how to make that type of fog. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to go back. I've got my other reference up, so you're going to see me. I didn't mean to zoom in. That was a bit abrupt. Alright, so I want to switch our SE noise over here. First of all, alright, we need to, we're going to use, this is going to be an eye distort effect. So we're going to go over to our eye distort. We're going to take our source, and we'll just bring this over, and we're going to link it back up to the SE noise, alright, so that we can see the original SE noise. And last time we were using this it's actually Voronoi. It's like it annoys you. It's Voronoi. That's the type of effect noise that this was. But we're not going to be using Voronoi today. We're going to be using an FBM, which stands for fractal Brownian motion. And you can already see, I sort of cheated. We went way too far ahead. Wow. All right. I ruined the effect. Oi. All right. Let's actually, I think we can just leave this. You know what? We'll leave it like that. We're pretty darn close to the exact settings I used. The octaves are set to 3. I highly recommend keep it low if you're just exploring the stuff, because FBM is really, really, the more octaves here, as you can see, we can make the wisps and so forth in FBM look a lot prettier by increasing the octaves. But every time you increase the octaves, between that and the lacunarity, I really have trouble with some of these names. Anyway, the wispiness, we can it can really add up and take away and make your renders take a long time. Anyhow, I'm just looking at this, making sure we're not doing anything too aggressive. Yeah, this is going to be really fast moving, foggy kind of plumes and so forth. And we're going to bring it back down to 3, because that's what I did it. I don't want it to be too detailed, but otherwise this is going to take a long time to render. And we left our, if we look at the animation, 5, that's fine. Over 250 frames, it's going to be very fast. We're going to keep we can slow down the Z slope a little bit to make it a little bit slower. So we'll add a 0 there, and that will slow this down a smidge more. There we go. We're getting something. So this is sort of where this is where the Adobe level of cloud sort of looks at this point, is right about here. Probably maybe an octave or 2 more of FBM. Let's see, maybe, yeah, I'd say that's about what the clouds inside of the Adobe products would look like. And I have nothing against them, by the way. I have a lot of respect for them. I used them for a lot of projects in the past. I've worked with almost everything. Oh, yeah, I miss some of them. Shake. Oh, miss it. Anyway, back to Natron. So one of the things we can do here is we can take this this clouds effect, and this really doesn't look like clouds, or at least to me this doesn't look like clouds. Maybe very vaguely it has a cloud-like thing, but to me clouds are a lot more round and puffy, and And so we're gonna let's drop this back down to 3, where it doesn't have as many octaves of stuff in here. And if we run it through our little displacement system here, and we put it back into, use this as our basis for, whoops, wait a minute, wrong thing, whoops, disconnected, wrong thing. If we view the output of a, whoa, wrong thing. So that's what our displacement is going to look like, and this is what we have, all right? So this looks a little bit too strong. We've got too many defined shapes in here. And let's just for a second, I'm just curious, if we take the octaves up to 5, what does it look like? Yeah, it doesn't really help it much. All right, so what we're gonna do is, instead of I've talked about, you know, setting the eye distort up to 100%. Well, and this is one of the situations where we actually want to reduce the amount that we're displacing it a bit. And so we're going to just grab this, and we're going to lower it by 10% units, or 10 units at a time, till we get something a bit more usable. That's looking a little bit better. I think we have, again, too many octaves of stuff. Soften this up a little bit more. There we go. I think 4 would probably be, maybe 4, we'll stick with 4, because 4 adds just an extra layer of it. Not when I was looking at mine a little closer. All right, so that's the effect. Oh, well, what? That's it? Well, yeah, that's all I did in the thing, and I could stop it there, but we'd be done in what, less than 10 minutes from where we started. But we can take this further, because one of the things that we may want to do is, you know, how would we integrate this into something? All right. Well, this might be a situation where we use the STM map. Why don't we try to add, you know, turn this into something that looks more like actual clouds, you know? All right. How would we go about doing that? Well, we already know that if we take a grayscale like this, all right, just so you know, and this is quite literally all there is to it. You run it through this effect, and you run it through the eye distort, and it literally will barrel out each one of the puffs of or the wisps as they get whiter. So you wind up with, as it gets whiter, it gets rounder. So you wind up with this. You wind up around the edges of these, winding up with things that look a lot more cloud-like in their effect. And you could layer this. You could do multiple layers of this to add other types of details and so forth. But it gets something that looks a lot like clouds. Let's back this up and just take a look. And there we go. It's obviously, this is very fast moving. I already said that. Let's take the slope down a couple notches more. 1, 2. Let's try that, and just back it off and see if that really slows it down. Might slow it. Oh, it's great. This is so fast. All right. Well, anyway, let's try to do something more with this. As I said, let's try to take this and use this as a map it. Let's use the STM map. Because that was sort of what we was talking about last time, and I really didn't feel like I showed how these two can work together. All right. Well, when we put it in and we use it as a source, it's, you know, we've put the UV map in there, but it isn't very useful. All right. So what can we do to make this look more useful? Let's take a solid. I want a black solid here, so we're gonna put a solid in. Just to establish our background, and we'll put that there. And then we need to have a couple of ramps. We're going to do a ramp. Ramp. There we go. And ramp 1, we're going to set the 0. I want to set this so that, I want the first one to be, the X position to be 0. And we're going to set the Y position to, I don't know, we'll say 960, which is, oh, wait a minute. No, we want the Y position to be 0. What am I thinking? We want the M position of this the X position for the end of point 1 is going to be at 960, which is about halfway across our screen. And then for our Y, we'll set that back to 0. And now we get this, and we can see what's already happened. Basically, this is mapping out the dark area of our screen. All right. So this is we're using the STM map to recolor this. Or we're going to use it to recolor it. And you're seeing it as we're evolving this. And this will show how we can use the STM map for doing that whole value thing I was talking about. Which is what Mr. Roberts, I think I want to make sure I got his name right. Yes, Benjamin Roberts. He was the one who sort of cued me into this. I was like, hey, that's a good idea. Never thought about using it this way. Anyway, we're going to be doing a very thing. So what we're going to do is add a second ramp in here. And this one's going to start at 960. And it's going to also be at 0 for the Y. And then it's going to end at 1920, which is, of course, all the way across because this is HD. And then for the Y, also 0, because I like to keep things zeroed out when I'm working on it. All right. So right now, this could potentially work as our we're getting something cloud-like. It's a bit overblown, but all right. Let's start off. Let's disable this one. Go back here, and let's pick a nice sky blue here. Like this is looking like sky blue. Look at that. We've already got a sky. There was our sky behind our clouds. But the problem is our clouds are too bright. So I think what we may need to do is turn off alpha on some of these, and well, we'll see. We'll set the alpha to 1. Here we'll keep this. We're going to change this one so that it's a darker gray, a nice dark gray for the edges of the clouds. Might be in there. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it looks all right. If it's too dark, I suppose we should. You know what? Let's try that one. I have some presets I've made here. That's 89 according to this. Let's just go with OK on that. That way I can just reuse it on this other one. Let's enable this one by hitting D. And we can see this, and we go here and we say, instead of, whoops, wait a minute, I'm not looking at the right thing. In fact, wait a minute, I want to up this to 2. I'm going to have my, this on the bottom. So the black and white ones are going to be on the bottom. The other one, the blue and the gray, is going to be on the top. I just want to make sure I'm not covering it over. It looks like you can see my colors. Good, that's what mainly counts. Alright, we're going to click on this, and we're going to set this one to the same. I think I picked that gray over here. Except for we're going to keep the alpha here 0 for this one, because I want it to blend, reveal the stuff behind it. And we'll keep the foreground, at white. And now what we're going to do is a couple of things. We're going to take in, we're going to link these to this, is going to control that. I want to take the 0.0 from my top node or my second node and have it control the 0.1, the halfway mark basically for both nodes. One's the end of the first one and it's the beginning of the second one. I want to move those together, so I only want a single control. That way I can move this back and forth. The other thing I might want to do is I might want to change the blend methods. Right now this is really sharp. It's not looking very nice. So I think for the top one, we'll try using smooth. That looks a little bit better. Let's look at the background. Maybe try doing the smooth there. That also looks better. I think we have something that I can live with. Let's take this. I think it's getting too gray too quickly, which is why we did this. So we're going to just pull this to the left. You can see the line moving to the left, and it's slowly increasing the size of this, but that's also moving over the start frame, the blue, here, we're losing a lot of our blue background, so I want to increase that, so I might take that up in tens. Try to pull that up. See if we can pull that up a bit more. Why is that not? Does not seem to be. Let's try doing instead of tens. Let's move it in hundreds. Go back to 200. Make it 300, 400. That's looking pretty good. Not sure. Let's just see something here. Let's see. Can we? Where was it? This one. I don't know. You know what? I think we want to. Well, you can play with it. You can see we can play. I kind of like that. It looks like thunderclouds of a form. I might change this from smooth. We might try. Let's say P linear. No, that doesn't look good. Ease in looks pretty good. I think ease in gets. Let's look at ease in versus smooth. Yeah, ease in gets us there. Keeps it looking a little closer, so we get from the bluey skies in the background. So there we go. So now we've just taken that and we've used the two in combination with one another to make a something that basically we've made a sky behind our thing, and we know maybe we'll use this in I'll use this in a future episode. Ooh, I don't know. Let's take a look and see if we can see how this works. This might be a bit too fast for this, but we could use this, as you could see. You could take this, slow it down, and you can put this, use this. If you make multiple layers of this offset from one another, you could, in this black and white form, you could use it as fog. Set its opacity, the overall opacity of the entire thing, and you could have, if you set up layers and had somebody walking, you could literally make it look like somebody was coming through fog. You could make it look like, if you have VFX, you could literally, if you have Z depth, you could literally use this as fog and have the Z depth map will apply more fog as it as the person kind of comes out of it, less fog, excuse me. So anyway, we've seen enough of this just to sort of get. That's way too fast. All right, I'm gonna get back to this, and let's go to the end here and drop this down to like 1 for the Z movement, just to see if that makes it look a little more cloud-like. Might be too slow now. Remember, the combination is going to be whatever your Z slope is, mixed with your... Is it even moving? Let's make sure it's moving. Oh, it is moving. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's looking like it might be a nice slow moving thing. You might make it slower, might make it faster. It's up to you guys. Again, the main point behind this is to create something. And I was... anyhow... this is, or just wanted to give you guys a practical use of this very effect. Why is this useful? Because we can make an effect like this. And if you don't like the clouds, again, modify the clouds. Play with your noise patterns. Do whatever. Run these through, experiment. It's all about experimentation. Part of the reason I'll show you these things is so you can experiment, hopefully. Yeah, we're gonna just... We've got time. This took way less time than I had expected. So, yeah. Speaking of things, you know what? I might just... Give me a minute. I'm going to pull up... Alright, I need a... let me pull up a thing here for a minute. I'm going to just track something down while that renders. Because Mr. Thomas Morley, as we all know, Mr. Thomas Morley, Esquire. Why is this not going? There we go. No. Mr. Thomas Morley had posted something that was quite cool on that was related to this, and I just wanted to pop it up for people who may not be. I could have brought it up in the nodes. But where was it? Give him kudos because he's been working on this sort of puffy cloud. Where is it? Oh, here it is. All right, let me try and pull that up. Sort of bonk. Oh, no, oh, come on. There it goes. All right, let me pause it. Uh-oh. I'm just going to pull this up to give him some credit. Once this is done, we'll bring that over and take a quick look. Because I know a lot of people on Facebook have seen this and have already done it. Oh, have already seen it. And anyway, hopefully this is going to look decent when it's done rendering. I know live streams we don't get to the benefit of being able to stop time and let it render out. We have to wait for it to render. Oh, I know this is a little bit boring. You could fast forward it after it's all done, but it's almost done. Yeah, so we'll get a little bit of an effect and get to see what it looks like. So there we go. We get to see, it looks kind of cloudy. Not perspective clouds. This is sort of like lying on your back looking up at the clouds above you. Of course, there's still more like a time lapse than it is a real, what clouds really look like. They don't move this fast. But still, it looks more like clouds than that other thing that we was looking at. Anyway, with that done, I want to bring this up because Mr. Tom Morley had created this thing here, which is he's working on this. This is a shader toy, which is a neato shader toy. Doing it's a cloud effect or like a smoke effect. It's still a work in progress, but it's pretty neat. And he's going to be hopefully turning it into a plugin at some point in the future. Aren't you, Mr. Morley? All right. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to him over that. And yeah. So yeah, right. I can do this again. Yay! All right. Well, thanks for watching and keep on Natroning. See you next time.